majority of people that rock up at the Vodacom Durban July will be completely oblivious to the strategy, the terms and conditions of acceptance. But there's a lot of planning that goes into this whole race. And obviously, I'm going to start with French Navy because he's the horse that's been seen most recently. Fantastic run in the Rising Sun Gold Challenge.
Yes, I was very pleased with the run. Obviously, we had to give him a little break after his very good second in the Premier's Challenge. And listen, I thought we could have had a winning chance in that race, even though we were prepping. As it happened, he only kicked very, very late. I think if you look at the 300, he was probably last. And I was very happy the way he put his act together and took off over the last furlong.
You get horses that do particularly well in certain centres. Now, French Navy's always shown himself to be very effective on the high felt. He was the champion 3-year-old, having won the Classic. He won the Daily News. So Gravel is right up his alley.
Yes, absolutely no problem with Gravel. I think there's no problem with the distance. Very happy with the riding arrangements. Yeah, it's just a matter of things having to go right. We're 2.5 weeks out and we just need things to go smoothly.
As we discussed at Gravel immediately after the Betting World 1900, it was going to be French Navy, the champion 3-year-old from last year, that was going to be the top weight.
Yes, Andrew, I worked my calculations out and our discussions on French Navy being the 60 kilogram horse. Thereby, Abashiri at race time will now have to carry 59 kilograms because the weights will have to be raised by 2.5 kilograms. And look at the weights, Andrew, very interesting. 35% of the horses are in the weights, the rest are under sufferance. So of the 23 horses on the log, there's only 7 horses are in the weights. So 65% of the field is under sufferance. I think for me, it's the first time that ever happened in the history of the Vodacom Durban July.
We've made a decision to not run him after looking at the weights. I know people will think that maybe the horse was there just to mess the weights up, but that wasn't the case. We looked back in history and there's a clause in the conditions that allows the handicapper to compress the weights. Having a serious look at the field and how many horses were under sufferance that are on the log, we made the assumption that the handicapper would probably use his trump card and compress the weights at the top. We were wrong, we misread it, and we've scratched him.
Legal, yes, he won the Jubilee by 4 lengths. He was super impressive. He still ran for 112 in the Vodacom Durban July, and he got beaten. But you've got to put a line to the run. Cramped, eased, it wasn't his run. He subsequently went in the Queen's Plate and he won the Met. I think in the Queen's Plate he confirmed his rating. That's the issue now. He goes back and confirms the rating in the Queen's Plate at Group 1 level. Then he runs second in the Met behind Smart Call, beating the rest of the field. Then he does the same thing in Horse Chestnut in the President's Champions Challenge. So he's run closer to his 120 on more than 1 or 2 occasions.
He's a genuine.
So you can live with him. What Abashiri is, it's only got in Abashiri's profile. I can tell you now. You can ask any person handicapping. If you look at his profile, he's only got 117. The rest could maybe 109, 110. That's the problem. So he's already 3.5 kilos too high on the overall rating. And there's no 3-year-old. 3-year-olds that have won the July came out less than 117 after winning the July. He's going into the July at 117.
Bolt, Silvana and Igugu.
This is my point. After winning the July, Big City Life were all lower than 117. So legal, yes, he's a 120. It's a categoric 120. Therefore, Brazuca was rated alongside Legal's performance and the French Navy's. So if French Navy is a 115, Legal Eagles 2.5 kilos superior, easy. And as much as I love Michael Azzi and I love the Fanfierens to win the race, for me, I can't have Abashiri with 59 kilograms. Not his ability. I just think the 117 in the context of the race is much too high.
You've taken a slightly different course of action than Abashiri has as far as the 3-year-olds are concerned with Samurai Blade. He's a horse that's had a run, obviously since his run behind Abashiri in the Derby. What did you make of that performance?
I think you couldn't read anything into it. The pace was an absolute mess. I thought we lost an opportunity to actually circle the field, go around them and make them stay, seeing that we were the stamina horse in the race. Having said that, with the slow run race and all the easing, he got badly cut into, he lost the shoe behind, and it was, as I said, a lost opportunity. We learned absolutely nothing, but his Derby run was phenomenal, and his preparation since that Daily News has gone very well.
I had a good look at form grids, which is one of the most important tools that you can find in racing. And there's been one winner out of the Derby. Rocket Ball was anything but disgraced in the Daily News 2000. I think he also had traffic problems. Because a lot of people were saying that you can throw the Derby form away in the way that it all unfolded. How do you look at the Derby form on face value?
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Rocket Ball was the common element. Obviously, Samurai flopped in the Daily News, and I think it just throws the blanket over the 3-year-olds. We've seen 2 3-year-olds come out and win in open company in both the Jubilee and the Cup trial. So maybe the 3-year-olds are a little bit better than what we anticipated early in the season. But having said that, they weren't the strongest field.
What we're looking for now is ways in which we can gauge the quality of the 3-year-old crop, which has been represented by New Predator and Brazuca and Noah from Goa at the highest level. And now you've got Black Arthur, who's the favourite, having won a Group 2. He's not even a Group 1 winner yet.
Andrew, for me, I've had lots of discussions, and actually with Champion Trainer Mike de Kock, we went into a heated debate 2 weeks ago. He's of the opinion that the 3-year-old crop is substandard. I totally disagree with him. I made it clear to him. I think Brazuca, New Predator, competed at weight for each terms, never disgraced themselves. New Predator won the Dillal Stakes. When the 3-year-olds go into handicaps, they do very well against the older horses, and Leach confirmed it in the Jubilee handicap on the weekend. So for me, on handicap terms, they have a big chance. Most of the 3-year-olds, I think it's the first time you'll see the Vodacom Durban July race card with horses only having 8 starts or 9 starts. Bella Bella goes in the July having 6 runs. Black Arthur, It's My Turn, they have less than 10 runs. They haven't even reached the double digits. So we don't know how good they are. And they've been hiding and ducking and diving to get into the July with a low weight. So to answer your question, I'm of the opinion that the 3-year-old crop is quite strong. When exposed to that level, Noah from Goa proved it, 3rd in the Queen's Plate against the best. So I see no fault in them. They've run at weight for each term. Now let's see what happens on a handicap term.